Hey everyone, Marc Saltzman here. Welcome to Sync. This is a video review of the Apple iPad 2, the successor to the wildly popular tablet computer from Apple that sold 15 million units in just 9 months in 2010. So naturally, they didn't mess with the formula much. It is basically the same product with a few enhancements and upgrades, yet still not perfect either. So we'll get to that in a moment. So first things first, we'll step back and explain the advantages of a tablet computer. It's got instant on access, a battery that lasts more than 10 hours. You can really use this interface whether you're computer savvy or not. I don't care if you're 4 or 94, you just get it. It's just super easy to launch an application and to download them as well with Apple's very popular App Store. And this, more so than a computer, is more conducive for things like reading ebooks or surfing the web. I just love using my fingertips on the 9.7-inch screen. So that's, the advantages of a tablet in a nutshell. Now, the iPad 2 does build upon the original iPad in a number of ways. So first things first, it is definitely faster. So it now runs on Apple's new A5 chip. It's a dual-core processor, which is like having 2 engines under the hood of the car, is what I like to say. So you're definitely going to notice a speed improvement. For example, let me launch Infinity Blade here, and you'll see how fast it loads up. Check that out. So really fast performance there. And it's not just in loading the games or loading apps like the iBooks app or your Safari web browser, but it also runs that much faster as well. So definitely you're going to notice the speed improvement. Apple says it's about twice as fast as the original iPad. I'm inclined to agree that's about right, though I might say that the 9 times better graphics performance is debatable. Your games are not running 9 times faster. But definitely you'll see an improvement when it comes to loading your apps, running them, and multitasking as well, even though Apple's a little quiet about the RAM that's involved here. But overall, much faster. So that's number one. Number two is the inclusion of 2 cameras. There's one here, front-facing camera, so you can engage in FaceTime video chats with other compatible devices, is what it looks like here. So you're seeing my web camera. So you can definitely engage in a video chat with friends and family. And FaceTime, by the way, is compatible on other iPad 2s, iPhone 4, 4th generation iPod Touch, and some Macs as well. So it has a forward-facing camera designed for taking your own picture, shooting a forward-facing DVD quality video, or let's just say it's VGA 640 by 480. Then there's a rear camera that can shoot 720p video, so high definition. And with the $5 app, the iMovie app, you can edit that video on the fly as well and do that all on the tablet. Just like with GarageBand, you can create a song, including ones with vocals, and do it all on the app, and that's also the same price, $5. Where I think this product falls short is in the still photography department. So while this shoots 720p video, it doesn't even take 1 megapixel stills. I think that's a huge oversight. I think it's using probably the same camera as the 4th generation iPod Touch, where it takes great video, but the still photography is questionable. Let me show you what I mean. Here I'm going to load up some pictures that I took with this camera, and this is one here. It looks kind of, here we go. So this might look okay from this web camera, but it is very grainy. And it is something that you would expect from an old cell phone, especially on a nearly 10-inch screen. So I don't know why Apple sort of chinsed out in that department. It's certainly not an iPhone 4 quality still photo, where it's 5 megapixels. So I think they really sort of messed up there. It's not a deal breaker. It's not going to make you not want an iPad 2 if you've been holding out on a tablet, but I just don't understand why for a $500 plus product they can't put in a decent camera. Also, speaking of shortcomings, keep in mind that there's still no USB or an SD card slot. You can't expand the memory beyond the 16, 32, or 64 gigs that you commit to at purchase. There's still no support for flash sites on the Safari browser. There's ways around it. There are apps that serve as alternative browsers, but the performance isn't that great. And there's no better screen. It's not like a Retina display, but as you can see, it's still a great looking screen. I think it's the same one they used last year in the original iPad. So we've covered speed improvement. We've covered 2 cameras. The rear facing one can shoot HD video. And then the other sort of things they've added is the slimmer design. It's now 33% thinner. So 1/3 thinner than last year's model, not like last year's model was so fat or anything. Plus, it's a little bit lighter. It's about 1.35 pounds opposed to 1.5 pounds. I think they're splitting hairs here. I don't think that's that big of a deal. I would, disagree with Steve Jobs when he was on stage a few weeks ago going, oh, it just almost floats in your hand. I definitely don't think it feels that much lighter than the last generation product. It's got a gyroscope for some gaming that where you want to move the iPad around in a 3D space in order to control the character or its weapons. I think that's also kind of neat, depending on the game, like Nova 2 from Gameloft. So those are the key differences. I'm going to, in another video, cover the smart covers. This is an optional magnetic cover that magnetically locks on top of the iPad. I think this is pretty cool for a few other reasons that we'll get to in another video. But overall, I really do like the iPad 2. It's definitely more evolutionary than revolutionary. Apple's not changing the game here. It addresses some of the concerns of the first iPad, such as being, kind of heavy and no cameras, but then again, it doesn't give you everything that gamers have been asking for, or other users. So, no expandable memory and no Retina display and no flash support for some videos. I do like, however, that the battery still rocks. I'm getting more than 10 hours of performance when the brightness is at half, which is what it is on here, and with wireless radios on. So that is still amazing that despite the fact that it's thinner and more powerful, you're still getting that same leading battery in the tablet space, and the price is cheaper. They start at $519 opposed to last year's iPad that debuted at $549 in Canada. Those are Canadian prices. So the iPad 2 is $519 up to $849 depending on the memory configuration and what wireless radios you want under the hood. This is the, as you can see by that black bar up there, which is I believe the antenna. It's 3G and Wi-Fi. And the data plans in Canada range from $15 a month for Rogers to $20 a month for Rogers and TELUS for 500 megabytes of data. That $15 a month is for $250. And at the time of doing this video, Bell has not yet announced its data plans. So there you have it, the iPad 2 in a nutshell. I give it a solid 9 out of 10, thumbs up. Thanks for watching. Cheers.